Hello everybody, I'm Danny from Danny Design Studio, and today I'm showing you a technique using embossing paste. Now this little tub of embossing paste comes in a plain or a shimmery white. I've got the plain at the moment, but the shimmery white is quite nice for Christmas cards. And I need these little palette knives as well, and my silicone mat as well. So all these things can be found on page 136 of the main annual catalogue. So that's the palette knives on one, that's the embossing paste, and then you'll need these decorative masks. Now these ones are showing you this top one and that one, but I have got the ones from the new mini catalogue, which isn't out quite yet for customers. So this is what you can make with that. So on here it tells you can spritz with these, you can sponge, you can trace using the markers, you can emboss, or you can add texture using the embossing paste. They are made of a sort of a plastic, and it tells you how to use them. So this is from the mini catalogue, the ones I've just chosen, and I've also used these lovely papers. This is the Magical Meadow bundle. I've used these and these lovely gems, and they are just gorgeous. I base my next month's class on it. So these are the things that I'm going to be using. I've pre-cut some stuff already. The Magical Meadow, then the dies to go with it, and then this is my new best friend, Timeless Arrangements. This I have used in the one I'm going to show you. I've used these lovely little dies for the sentiment. Okay, so the other thing I've used is Simply Elegant trim. Okay, so let's get started. So I am going to use, I've already prepped this. I'm going to use, this is my piece of DSP. You can see I've used a scrap bit of grid paper. The DSP is under there, and I've put the DSP with some little glue dots, position that in place with glue dots, and then I put my mask over it, and I've sellotaped just the plastic bit with some tape, just so that it doesn't move. So then I need my silicone mat. I need one of these little palette knives, and what you do is you just get a little bit out of here, and I'm going to put that much, I think. And then with the palette knife, I'm going to hold my mask in place, and I positioned everything, so I'm going to just pop it on and put some more on, fill in the gaps, and then you're just trying to even it out so that you're filling the little holes, and then you can scrape a bit off and then fill in. So you don't need a huge amount. Just going to take some of that off. you don't want any gaps in the stencil holes. Now that, unfortunately, that has come up, so I'm not sure how that is going to look. I might have to hide that with the sentiment. So you just want to fill in those holes. Now, I know people probably think this is very messy, but it actually dries really quickly. So once I've taken it off, once I've taken the stencil off, you'll see that it is obviously still wet. But then, by the time I've finished putting all my card bits together, it will be dry. So I'm just going to gently take this off, throw that away. Try not to move the mask. And take that off, and then gently peel it away from your DSP or the card, whatever I've actually glued this in place with a few glue dots, that's why it's hard to get off, but that's what you get to see like this, which it's all about creating texture. And I thought with this card, I'm going to put it to one side, and by the time I've finished all the other bits, this will be dry. Now with this, what you need to do is you need to wash it straight away, otherwise it will harden. So you need to wash it straight away, and I've got a little bowl of water. I'll just show you a little bowl of water, because I haven't got that at the moment, a sink nearby that I could just wash it straight away because I'm on camera. So then I'm going to make the elements of my card. So this is the card I did previously. Now with the embossing paste, it sort of creates like a felt, I feel, on here. So I wanted to go with that sort of way of the card, really. So because it's creating texture, I wanted to create sort of a layering look, different elements of this greenery, so that it creates texture, layering, and you know, it's just a nice sort of different type of appearance of a card. So it's using the beautiful papers, which helps as well. The meadow papers. So my card is white landscape, so I folded it at 14.9 and it's 10.5 in that way, the usual measurements. Now then I wanted another layer, and my layer I wanted a bit smaller because I wanted to show the white. So I'm doing it in a different sort of look on here. Instead of the green, I'm going with the blue and the trees. So that is a centimetre shorter, and I'm going to lay that in a minute. And then I have already taken from the timeless dies, timeless arrangement dies, I've already put my sentiment on. I've also then put it onto a white background as well, just to highlight it a bit. So this should be dry. Might not be here actually. I might have to just give it a little bit of a helping hand with my dryer. My heat and emboss tool. I see that's slightly wet there. The other thing is, what you can do with this, if you want it a different colour, It says you can add a little bit of ink. It's popping up a little bit now. So you can add, I'll just add a little tiny bit of ink to it so that you could get a different colour maybe. So I'm just gonna layer that onto here. Just gently. So then the next thing is I want this to come out a little bit. These bits are from the dies, which are just gorgeous, but they're huge. So I'm just going to cut them down a little bit. And I'd like this one maybe to come out down here more, so I don't really probably want to cut this. Just want to have that branch or whatever it is coming out, and then I'm ready to mount that, but I'm going to put it on some dimensionals, putting the dimensionals in the middle. Because I'm going to put it to one side like that, because then I can tuck my greenery. So I'm just going to probably cut this down a little bit. So just sort of arrange it where you think this doesn't look that great like that. So, and then you can just tuck that under there easily. I'd be faffing about with this, aren't I? Okay, so can I use that? Yeah, okay. So happy with that. I'm just gonna put some glue on there. So you can easily, because this is pre-recorded, you can easily just fast forward this bit because it will be boring for you. I don't know whether anybody's got this papers, but they're absolutely gorgeous. On your pre-order. So there we go. And then not sure whether to put that there or there. Probably there. I'm going to obviously put this onto the card front. So using a little glue dot, and you can, because the glue dots are quite big and wide, you can just roll it in your hand a little bit and then lose it. Roll it in your hand and then pop it on the back of your bow so you don't see too much and it doesn't stick everywhere. And then pop that on there. And then I need my card front. I think these cards, you know, they're not quite Christmas, but people who probably don't celebrate Christmas might like these sort of cards. Or I think if you've got a birthday in December or even January, February, these are lovely cards. These are lovely papers for those sort of occasions. And then what I've done inside here is just done a little strip of paper. Whatever my card front is, I quite like choosing the same for the inside. So it's 1 centimetre smaller and it makes it pop a little bit when it's layered onto the navy blue. So there we go. I would probably put some gems as well, but I haven't got those out. But you know how to put gems on. So, and you could also use your Wink of Stella to highlight some of these and make it a bit more shimmery. So the other thing to say is storage. What I would do with this, because it does dry up, so what I do with the little lid that they give you is pop that down there, and I've got it all over my fingers now, and then you're trying not to let the air get to it. So then it comes in a plastic bag and it lid screws on, make sure that's tight, and then I also try and make it last longer by tightening a little rubber band on it and making sure it's tight, and then it just lasts a little bit longer. So what else do I need to say? I think that's it really. So you can, don't forget, you can add to your colour to your embossing paper, to your embossing paste, and you can use Wink of Stella maybe. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and thank you very much for watching.